The Lord be with you.
And with your spirit.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to St. Matthew.
Glory to you, O Lord.
Jesus said, "Come to me, all you who labor and are burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am meek and humble of heart, and you will find rest for yourselves. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light." The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
I love, in fact, I have a prearranged funeral. Hopefully I won't be collecting on that for some years, but the first reading is from Moses in the burning bush, where God says a couple days ago, I'll turn back to it, and when he first has this experience in the book of Exodus, and Moses, you got to realize, is a fleeing felon, because he was an Israelite who got raised in Egypt, and he one time saw an Egyptian master ill-treating the Israelites. So Moses killed him and he buried him and figured, well, that's the end of it. I don't have to worry about that. But later somebody recognizes him and says, "You did this thing." So he has to flee, and so he's living now in Egypt near Mount Sinai. And he has this experience where he sees the burning bush. And when he comes, he says, "I got to take a look at this, because it's burning, but it's not being consumed. There's something different here." And so God says, "Take off your sandals, this is holy ground." And then he says, "I'm the God of your father, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob." And he says, "The cry of the children of Israel has reached me, and I have truly noted that the Egyptians are oppressing them. Come now, I will send you to Pharaoh to lead my people, the children of Israel, out of Egypt." And so then today's reading, he's saying, well, when I go to say, God's help wants me to deliver you folks, who am I supposed to say that is? And so he says, "Tell them I am has been the one that has sent you." And as the movement of Faith in Flint has been going on, people are beginning to share stories, and you've heard stories, and one of them was shared during that press conference of a person who got helped by Catholic Charities and how that changed that person's life. It became a very liberating, empowering experience. And I often will hear from people, some of my old parishioners will tell, one old man I just buried who was in his 80s, and that's not really old, but because I'm turning 70 in a couple of weeks, but anyway. And he would describe how, in memories as a child, this priest did this, or this sister did that, or he had this good experience in Mississippi growing up in a parish there. And so you are being called to be like Moses, to provide the liberation and to say, we represent God. And you really do. And that's a kind of awesome sort of thing, like, ooh, wait a minute. We kind of say, yeah, Pope Francis, well, he represents God, and he just, it's very obvious, and he's so merciful and joyful, and saying things like, who am I to judge, and saying, hey, we're making a mess out of the earth, we need to do better, and that kind of stuff. But when it comes to saying, wow, wait a minute, sometimes I'm the one that represents God, that is a scary thought in one way, but also what a blessing and a privilege. And whatever ability you have to love, or be patient, or understanding, or kind, or just a little bit open, that person that comes to you may have never had literally never had an experience like that. I was talking to a woman the other day who, every day when she got up, she knew she would be beaten by her parents. And that's what she faced day after. She can't remember a time that didn't happen until finally she got outside her home. Or you'll be other people that say, well, my mom and dad never came to anything I did, or they never talked to me, they never were interested in what I was interested in, but at least I had meals, and they worked and helped me in that way and stuff. But there was never real kindness in the sense of what would have met a child's need growing up. And so those wounded people come to you, or maybe they had it, and then they threw it away through drugs or some other problem, or mental illness has come in and ravaged their life, and they've not been able to function. And someone that used to carry a job has lost it, and they lose confidence, and they finally wind up thinking, the rest of my life, whatever that is, I will be on the garbage heap. I have a parishioner who's having some medical tests today, and she used to be fairly well-to-do, have a very good job, and she's just messed up her life time after time after time. And now she's having a heart cath today. And I'm a little uneasy because I think she really wants it to be bad news and like, help me to get out of here. You know, it's like, well, if I could die of a heart attack or something, that would probably be an improvement over what's going on in my life now. So in the face of all those people that are the children of Israel, you and I come on the scene. They come to you, somebody referred them to you, they stumble in the door to the warming center, and there you are representing God. St. Paul says we are ambassadors for Christ, and it's a wonderful privilege. It's also kind of scary. What if I mess up? But God, the same God who's been loving you, however that's been happening in your life, will empower you and enlighten you and help you to know how to be the next step for that person. And when Jesus says, come to me, all you who labor and are burdened, and I will give you rest. Catholic Charities is the presence of Christ, one of the ways Christ is present in Flint. And Catholic Charities is not a sign on a building, it's you. And so when you come in there, you represent anyone that ever contributed, saying, I want to help them. I would be an independently wealthy person if I had a nickel for every time I've heard someone say, I want to help the poor. And I know people that will say, I can't give to the church, it's this, it's that, priests abuse children, and this happened, and that happened, but I want to help the poor. And so they'll want to say, yeah, go to Catholic Charities and donate there, or whatever. And so you are Catholic Charities, and that's very good news. It's a real place of privilege. And they're never going to put, glass slippers on your feet. It's not a fairy tale, where you're going to, live happily ever after. But you will have that satisfaction of knowing that you know God's name, you know how to love, you know how to listen, you know how to be compassionate, and that's what it's about. So somebody 1 year from now, 10 years from now, 30 years from now, 50 years from now, is going to say, wow, I was falling apart, I didn't know where to go, and this woman really listened to me, or this happened, or that happened, and it will relate to Catholic Charities and what you do. So never underestimate the dignity, the worth of your vocation. You were called here, and maybe someday you'll work somewhere else, but right now, you're called here to represent Jesus Christ. You're here to represent the same God that had this little discussion with Moses saying, I hear the cries of my people, and I have come to send you to the Pharaoh to liberate the people. So you are the people's vehicle of liberation. And I celebrate that. I mean, I have enough to do that I could say, no, I don't think I want to say Mass at Catholic Charities. I have get someone else to do it. But when I can, I like doing it because it's where something very important is happening. And I hope you, in the midst of the drudgery sometimes that it is to listen to kind of the same story told 100 different ways, I hope in the midst of that you say, I'm lucky to be here, I'm privileged to be here, I get to represent Jesus